8. Earl finds a mission. Earl, where have you been? I ran away, Mama. But you got a bed right here. You had me worried sick. It didn't matter to me anymore. Home was the last place I wanted to be. My father was gone. My mother still refused to let me live with my grandmother, so I took to the streets. I didn't care if I didn't have any money or I wasn't going to school. At least I would be in control of my own life. Why are you doing this to yourself? My mother would ask me when I showed up at the door after surviving on my own for a few days. And why do you look like that? It's cold out there. Well, it serves you right, Earl. You should have come home. Many nights outside by myself, I crawled into the clothing bins they kept outside the Salvation Army in Getty Square. It was warm, and I knew no one would find me. My mom never looked for me. I guess she felt that if I wanted to stay lost, there was nothing she could do about it. I did a lot of thinking when I was out there by myself. I was lonely, but I was determined not to go home. After a while, though, it's hard not to go crazy when you don't have anyone to talk to. Then, I saw a dog. He was a gray mutt with dark streaks, and he looked pretty beat up. I saw him walking a few streets away. Something told me to try and approach him, but when I did, he started running. Come here, boy, come here. Stray dogs are normally scared of people. They're scarred by whatever neglect or abuse put them out on the street. Or, if they're lost, they're depressed because they can't find their way home. But that morning, I decided that no matter how long it took, I was going to get that dog to come over to me. I was going to convince him to trust me and make him mine. So, for about 3 hours, I followed that mutt all over downtown Yonkers. He just kept jogging away from me, every few steps nervously turning his head around to see if I was still behind him. Come on, boy. It's okay. Finally, by late afternoon, I achieved my goal. Not only did the dog stop running so I could pet him, but he let me tie a wire around his neck that I used as a leash. For the next few hours, we walked all around Yonkers, and later that evening, I found some scraps of food for him to eat. He stayed with me all night. The next morning, I was so proud of my new friend, I took him with me to School Street. As soon as I got up there, some older dude started messing with me. Yo, look what Crazy Earl got. The three of them walked over to us. It's okay, boy. Don't be afraid. Hey, little nigga. Are you sure that mutt is yours? What if I tried to reassure my dog that everything was all right, but before I realized what was going on, one of the guys kicked him right in the ass. Immediately, my dog wriggled out of the piece of wire, started running, and within a few seconds, he was clear out of the projects. I tried to chase him, but the faster I ran, the faster he ran. For blocks, he kept the same amount of distance between us until he finally just disappeared down an alley. He wasn't going to let me catch him twice. I never saw that dog again, but now I had a mission. I started looking all over for strays that I could catch and train for myself, and suddenly I had a reason to go back to my mother's house. I needed somewhere to keep my dogs. Once I found one, I would just tie them up in the front hallway of our apartment so they wouldn't get away, and every night I would leave them a bowl of cold water to drink. Most of the dogs I found would be good and wouldn't make any noise, but it wasn't long before my mother told me we couldn't have them in the house. It seemed School Street didn't allow pets. Earl, that dog better not be here when I come home from work. Okay, Mama. I mean it, Earl. Most of the time, when I didn't want to listen, my mother made real good on her threat. Where's my dog, Mama? I said to you that the building would kick us out if they found a pet in this house, Earl, so I had to take care of it. So, you got rid of my dog? That was my dog. That was not your dog, Earl. And you have to learn to follow the rules of this house. So then, I started hiding them from her. I knew my mother's schedule, what time she came home and went to sleep, what time she got up in the morning. I just had to make sure that Uncle Pinky wouldn't snitch. Didn't your mother tell you not to bring that dog in the house? He would say when I walked in the door with my new friend. After midnight, everyone would be asleep, but Pinky would be lying on the couch. Yeah, I know Uncle Pinky, but I can't let him go. He has nowhere to go. One dog I hid under my bed for a few days actually gave birth to puppies. I didn't know she was pregnant until one night I peeked under the bed and saw the whole litter. The puppies were still covered in all the blood and placenta. It took me a while to get rid of them all. When it became too much trouble to hide the dogs, then the roof became my place. School Street only had 12 floors and we were on 11, so I only had to walk up 2 flights to get up there. It was never locked. I just brought a blanket and some pillows from the house with me, and me and my dog would camp out up there all night. I liked the roof. It was always dark and peaceful, and I used to do a lot of staring at the sky. Some nights, lying alone, I thought about the girl I used to see in that blue and white robe. There was just something about her that sparked my imagination. I dreamed that I was a wild lion that only she could tame. I was a savage, and she was my princess, the only woman who could ever control me. But it was on the roof that I also started to think that I could fuck with a dog before I fucked with a person, because it seemed the more love I gave them, the more love they gave me back. And dogs didn't know betrayal. All I had to do was hug them, feed them, and I knew that I didn't have to worry about a thing, because as soon as that roof door started to crack, my dog would growl and start to protect me. It was the same way on the street. Once I got a dog to trust me, he was loyal to me and wouldn't let any harm come my way. And when I noticed how everyone was scared of them anyway, how when I was with my dog, the older kids that would normally try to diss me and take advantage of me suddenly started to move away. That gave me the heart as a young nigga to deal with anything that came up the hood. See, there's a little bitch in everybody. You just have to find where it's at. Most of the time, a person is more scared of a dog than they are of a gun, because if you put a gun in someone's hand who's not ready to use it or doesn't know what he's doing with it, that gun is useless. But it's never like that with a dog. Bullets go straight, but a dog will always stay on target. A dog will look at you and say, "I'm gonna kill you." And if the master says so, will chase you around for hours. A dog is gonna chase you through buildings, across streets, over cars. Hit the fence, the dog got you on your leg. Turn the corner and bust your ass, it's over. Growing up in the hood by myself, without my dog, I probably would have been taken advantage of. Would have been forced to snap or wild out on niggas to get any respect. But with my dog, the respect came a lot easier, and that changed everything.
Looking for a professional photographer for your next big event? Need video of your special day? Then look no further. For $100 an hour, have a professional photographer or videographer shoot your wedding, birthday party, quinceañera, bar mitzvah or bat mitzvah, anniversary party, or whatever your special occasion may be. Highlight your event with professional, crisp photos and video. Check out Charles Arness Photography on Instagram, as well as book us for your next event. Must live in the Southern California area.